of the Gary Redevelopment Commission is now called to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Chambers. Commissioner Clements.
Here.
Commissioner Stalling. Present. Commissioner Washington.
Present.
President Rogie.
Here.
Let the record show that Commissioner Chambers is absent from the meeting at this time.
All right. Certification. Wait a minute. No. Acceptance of the general meeting agenda of July 10th, 2024. A motion?
I move for the acceptance of meeting agenda of July 10th, 2024.
Second.
Moving second. Roll call.
Commissioner Clements.
Yes.
Commissioner Stalling.
Yes.
Commissioner Washington.
Yes.
And President Rogie.
Yes.
The motion is passed.
Thank you. Certification of record of the executive session held on July 10th, 2024. I hereby certify that nothing has been discussed in the executive session held immediately before this open meeting except those items specified and listed in the notice. And board members?
Move for the acceptance of the minutes from the meeting held on June 20th.
No, certification.
Correct. I move for the
Sir, make sure you turn your microphone on before you speak, please. Thank you. It's on the right side. It's a button on the right side, bottom right.
I move for certification of record of executive session held on July 10th, 2024.
Second.
Okay, moving second and roll call.
Commissioner Clements.
Yes.
Commissioner Stalling.
Yes.
Commissioner Washington.
Yes.
President Rogie.
Yes.
The motion is passed.
Okay. Acceptance of the minutes from the meeting held on June 26, 2024.
I move for the acceptance of the minutes from the meeting held on June 26, 2024.
Second.
Moving second and roll call.
Commissioner Clements.
Yes.
Commissioner Stalling.
Yes.
Commissioner Washington.
Yes.
And President Rogie.
Yes.
The motion is passed.
And now, public comment. Is there anyone who would like to make a comment on the agenda items only? Mr. Wackey.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Is this on? Is my mic on?
No, sir. Bottom right is we went.
You gotta press the button till it's green.
Okay, I see it.
Just like the council meeting.
Yes, thank you. Mr. President, members of the commission, my name's Jim Nowacki. I live in the 2nd District. And in 1961, Jane Jacobs wrote a book called The Death and Life of Great American Cities. It was a criticism of urban renewal in the 50s in New York City. Among the ideas that she wrote about in her book, and that I think are widely accepted by urban planners today, is that new businesses need old buildings. I'm going to repeat that. New businesses need old buildings. The reason for this is that new businesses cannot afford new buildings. New businesses need old buildings. If we wanted to attract new businesses to the city, we might consider Jane Jacobs, the points that Jane Jacobs made in her great book. Now, before she died several years ago, Jane Jacobs was asked about the city of Gary. And her response to the question was, it's too far gone. When she was asked about the city of Gary, she replied, it's too far gone. I would...
If this is not about issues on the agenda.
This is called demolition. This
No.
is demolition.
This is not
Can you
about the agenda.
understand the point?
You got
When we
to
talk about
have a seat.
demolishing buildings and you've got some demolition on the thing? Are you objecting to my comments? Mr. President, are you objecting to my comments?
I think you're okay on that track. We do have some things on demolition
Yes.
here.
So what I would suggest is that for those of you who have an interest in future plans for the city of Gary, you might get a copy of Jane Jacobs' 1961 treatise, The Death and Life of Great American Cities. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? And shall I close comments? Let's close. Okay. Number 8, request for approval of resolution number 7474, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission authorizing the execution of a professional services contract with Urban 3. Mr. Harris, please explain.
Thank you, President Rogi. I am asking for the commission to table Resolution 7474.
Okay. Board members?
I move that we table approval of the resolution of number 7474.
Second.
Been moved in second, and a roll call.
Commissioner Clemens?
Yes.
Commissioner Stalling?
Yes.
Commissioner Washington?
Yes.
President Rogi?
Yes.
The motion is passed.
Okay. A request for approval of resolution number 7481, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission rescinding all agreements connected to Fulcrum Centerpoint LLC, AKA Riley Land Management, for property related to 6200 Industrial Highway, Gary, Indiana. Overview, Ms. Harris.
Thank you, President Rogi. The Redevelopment Commission has previously approved several agreements with Fulcrum Centerpoint LLC related to 6200 Industrial Highway, including an option agreement. The final amendment, which is dated November 16th, 2022, a project development agreement that fully executed on or about March of 2022, whereas the circumstances have changed such that parties no longer wish to move forward with the prior mentioned agreements, and the Commission wishes to rescind the prior agreements and the award of the property so that it can be used for development opportunities moving forward.
What do you think, guys?
Is he done? Okay. I move for the request for the approval of resolution number 7481.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? And roll call.
Commissioner Clemens?
Yes.
Commissioner Stalling?
Yes.
Commissioner Washington?
Yes.
President Rogi?
Yes.
The motion is passed.
Okay. All right. Receive and open bids for the property located at 6021 Melton Road, Gary, Indiana, for the commission to hold, use, exchange, lease, rent, or otherwise dispose of the property located in the city of Gary. And so we got to do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. I'm assuming this is the only proposal received? Okay. All right, so we have one proposal for 6021 Melton Road, received July 10th, 2024 at 2:43 p.m. Okay, we have a proposal from Lake Real Estate Management Company, LLC, address 29375 West 10 Mile Road in Farmington Hills, Michigan, zip code 48336. The bid amount is $100,000. The minimum bid amount is, yeah, 85,000. And this is a bid, for a Taco Bell, 6021 Melton Road.
Is this the only bid?
This is the only proposal.
Well, then, let's close the bids. So we need a motion to close bidding.
Make a motion that we close the bid for resolution just close the bid for this. That's for 6021 East Melton Road.
Okay. And second? Is there a second?
Second.
And there's a second, so, roll call.
Commissioner Clemens,
Yes.
Commissioner Stalling,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington.
Yes.
President Rogie,
Yes,
the motion is passed.
and now we will recess of the meeting so that the staff can discuss the bid. Do we need a motion to do that? Yeah, you can do a motion. Okay. The attorney says we need a motion to recess.
Second.
Second, roll call.
I'm sorry.
I didn't capture the second.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Clemens?
Yes.
Commissioner Stalling,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington,
Yes.
and President Rogie.
Yes,
Motion is passed.
okay. Okay, I'd like to hear a motion to reconvene
So move.
and a second.
Second.
So roll call.
Commissioner Clemens?
Yes.
Commissioner Stalling?
Yes.
Commissioner Washington?
Yes.
And President Rogie?
Yes.
Motion is passed.
Okay. All right, we did that. Well, what did you find on this?
Sure. Okay, all right. So in regard to Resolution 7491, to give some context, in June 2024, the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission calls to publish a request for proposals in the newspaper in general circulation in Lake County, Indiana, for the development of a certain property commonly referred to as 6021 East Melton Road. The City of Gary Redevelopment Commission has determined that Lake Real Estate Management Company, LLC, is the most responsible bidder for the above referenced property with a bid amount of $100,000. The City of Gary Redevelopment Commission desires to the Department of Redevelopment desires to negotiate terms and execute the purchase of the sale agreement with Lake Real Estate Management Company, LLC, for the said property. Just to give some context too, I want to read the executive summary from this entity. Lake Real Estate Management Company, LLC, offers to purchase the existing building and property located at 6021 East Melton Road for the purchase price of $100,000. Earnest money shall be $2,000, but held by the Chicago Title Company. Lake Real Estate Management Company, LLC, is a property holding management company for Natron Corporation, who currently owns Taco Bell locations in 14 cities and towns. 2 new projects are already under development in the end of 2024. The project at 6021 Melton Road would be their next location. They do not currently own or operate any Taco Bell within the city of Gary, but they have locations in Griffith, Hammond, Hobart, Maryville, and Portage. The timeline for this project is that the team desires to acquire the site. They have a similar model that they're developing in DeMont, Indiana, and they desire to build the same model here at 6021 Melton Road. When it comes to the timeline of this project, the bidder has shared that it's the intent to, within 30 to 60 days, prepare for site approval and environmental investigation, 15 days to close on the property, 60 days thereafter for architectural and engineering design, 30 days for site demolition and cleanup, and 120 days for construction start to completion. 60 days for fixtures, training, and operations, with a targeted grand opening of April 2025. There was expressed that with the momentum regarding the transit development district here on the US 20 corridor, that they want to be a part of the city's growth, and it really enticed them to be able to invest here in our community. So we want to welcome this development. We have the opportunity to work on future opportunities to negotiate with this entity regarding the balance of the site. We understand, we're very well aware that there are 10 acres surrounding this particular property, that we will have conversations with this developer to ensure that that's congruent for how the city desires to envision that the balance of the 10 acres at Melton Road surrounding this site. But I definitely recommend that this contractor, this developer, be able to move forward in the development of this site on the US 20 corridor. This just gives more momentum moving forward. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
And their name is Real Estate.
The name of the entity is Lake Real Estate Management Company, LLC.
Okay. Request for approval of resolution number 7491, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission awarding property located at 6021 East Mountain Road, and authorizing a purchase agreement between Lake Real Estate Management LLC and the Redevelopment Commission. And so, what is your pleasure?
So move.
You're not talking.
I'll second. I got a question.
I got asked for comment, but hit the button so you can second.
Oh, I think we're okay.
All right, second.
All right, and comment.
All right, I got a few questions. So is this the location where the old Chinese restaurant used to be? Oh,
I got it. There's too many people that are.
Oh, let me check.
Yes, that's correct. And to my knowledge, before this site was a Chinese restaurant, it used to be the old McDonald's site. So this is at the intersection of US 20 and 12, adjacent across the street from the Mosley Motel.
okay.
This is that site.
Second question, are we gonna have them come in before the Redevelopment Commission and the public to do a presentation of how this is gonna look and, you know, as far as aesthetics is concerned?
The bidder did provide a store model opportunity of what they're building currently in DeMont, Indiana, that would be built similar here at the site. So I could share that information with you. That was included in the packet.
No, not you. I'm talking about them coming in to the public before us. We have 2 meetings. I believe that this can be voted on at the last meeting in July, but I think they need to come in and conduct a presentation, not only with you, I respect that, but come to this entire board and the public showing what this Taco Bell would look like and kind of give some schematics of how it's going to operate.
So I do want to share that, that's an opportunity, within planning and development, when it comes to that, this is an opportunity of a proposal that was drafted by this entity for the development of this site. And when it comes to, I could share with the commission what was included in this bid package.
So there's no way a presentation can be done before the public and before the commission, similar to what happened with BWI?
So similar to what happened with BWI, that was I guess we haven't formally established a cadence for this because it's not technically required. In an effort to move at the speed of business, we have this opportunity to have this developer be able to move forward expeditiously to be able to build the site by April 2025.
Well, I just want to say publicly, anytime that we're looking at selling property to someone who wants to do development, one of the reasons why I believe we have 2 meetings per month and we can have public meetings in between those is that to give suitors an opportunity to come before this commission and the public to plainly show their drawings and what they want to do in the community. I'm not saying that the company is doing this, but I don't want us as a community to be so thirsty that the first time someone comes up and says we're going to invest and we're going to spend this amount of money, that we're so happy to get this. And I'm not saying the administration is doing this, but we need to set a standard that when you come to Gary and you want to do development, we want them to provide not only to the commission, but to the public that they need to do presentations. So that being said, if they cannot do that presentation and you all want to go on with this tonight, my vote will be no. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Well, we do have a motion and we do have a second. And roll call. Oh,
Commissioner Clemens?
Abstention.
Commissioner Stalling?
Yes.
Commissioner Washington?
No.
President Rogie.
Yes.
One abstention, one no, two yes.
Well, maybe I can speak loud enough anyway. So with 2 votes in the affirmative.
Now, hold on a minute. Somebody, Mike, turn your mic off, Ken, so you can.
Okay. So yeah, just to clarify what just happened, we have 2 votes in the affirmative, 1 abstention, 1 no. The motion does not pass, but we can potentially bring it back at our next meeting and potentially satisfy enough votes to get a yes by performing what we discussed at this meeting. But for now, the motion does not pass.
Okay. We're going to request for approval of resolution number 7492, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services contract with Community Title Company to provide title work services to the commission for the year of 2024. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, President Rogie. The City of Gary Redevelopment Commission desires to enter into a contract with Community Title Company to pay outstanding invoices from prior year 2023 and provide future title reports and recording services. The services are necessary in order to perform demolitions and recording of simple property transactions the Commission may perform. The Board of Redevelopment Commissioners of the City of Gary, President and Secretary, hereby authorize the Redevelopment Commission Executive Director, myself, and the attorney to enter into negotiations, final negotiations for the execution of professional service contracts with the Community Title Company for a contract not to exceed $10,000.
Board members?
Move for the approval of resolution number 7492.
Second, Mr. Chair.
There's a second, so roll call. I got it.
Commissioner Clemens? Commissioner Stalling? Commissioner Washington?
Yes.
And President Rogie.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Request for approval of resolution number 7493, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission awarding and authorizing a demolition contract with Avatar to demolish property at 263 Polk Street and 2616 Jackson Street. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, President Rogie. The City of Gary Redevelopment Commission staff followed demolition procurement procedures, sending quotes to multiple contractors for demolition of the property located at 263 Polk Street and 2616 Jackson Street. Avatar was the lowest bidder with quotes of $12,000 for $263 Polk Street and $12,000 for 2616 Jackson Street. The Department of Redevelopment now wishes to enter into a contract with Avatar to demolish the above referenced properties and authorize myself, Executive Director, and our Commission Attorney to finalize and execute demolition contract with Avatar for the demolition work to be performed at these properties for the amount not to exceed $24,000.
And board members?
Move for the approval of resolution number 7493.
Second.
Okay, move in second. And move on.
Commissioner Clemens?
Yes.
Commissioner Stalling?
Yes.
Commissioner Washington?
Yes.
President Rogie.
Yes. Okay. Request for approval of resolution number 7494, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission and authorizing a demolition contract with Acton for demolition services at 1301 Johnson Street, 1377 to 93 Johnson Street, 5179 Adams Street, 5077 Jefferson Street, 4976 Jefferson Street. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, President Rogi. The City of Gary Redevelopment Department staff followed the demolition procurement procedures, sending quotes to multiple contractors for the demolition of property located at 1301 Johnson Street, 1377 through 93 Johnson Street, 5179 Adams Street, 5077 Jefferson Street, 4976 Jefferson Street. Acton was the lowest bidder with quotes of $9,950 for 1301 Johnson Street, $30,900 for 1377 through 93 Johnson Street, $7,030 for 5173 Adams Street, $8,064 for 5077 Jefferson Street, and $7,400 for 4976 Jefferson Street. The Department of Redevelopment now wishes to enter into a contract with Acton to demolish the above referenced properties, and authorize myself, the Executive Director, and Commission Attorney to finalize and execute the demolition contract with Acton Contracting for the demolition work to be performed at these properties for an amount not to exceed $63,344.
And how does the board feel about this?
Move for the approval of resolution number 7494.
Move in second, roll call.
Commissioner Clemens? Yes. Commissioner Stalling?
Yes.
Commissioner Washington? Yes. And President Rogi?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Request for approval of resolution number 7495, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission awarding and authorizing a demolition contract with Armor D2 for demolition of property located 813 through 19 Washington Street, 3825 Broadway, and 1744 Delaware, and 3950 Delaware Street in Gary, Indiana. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, President Rogi. The City of Gary Department of Redevelopment staff followed the demolition and procurement procedures, sending quotes to multiple contractors for the demolition of property located at 813 through 19 Washington Street, 3825 Broadway, 1744 Delaware, 3950 Delaware, whereas Armor D2 was the lowest bidder with quotes of $68,250 for 813 through 19 Washington Street, $72,250 for 3825 Broadway, $27,250 for 1744 Delaware Street, and $27,250 for 3950 Delaware Street. The department now wishes to enter into a contract with Armor D2 to demolish the above referenced properties. The Board of Redevelopment Commissioners of the City of Gary hereby authorize myself, the Executive Director, and the Commission Attorney to finalize and execute the demolition contract with Armor D2 for the demolition work to be performed at these properties for the amount not to exceed $195,000.
Board discretion.
Mr. President, I want to ask the administration if it's possible, when we go forward to the future with demolition contracts, is there a possibility, if we have our means here, that a photograph of that property could be shown on the screen, to kind of give people a visualization of the necessity of the blight in the community? And I think they would appreciate more the money that's being spent to demolition of property. I think you put some eyes on that. It would look nice. not look nice, but it would be.
Sure. Yeah.
kinda-
Yeah, we can definitely do that. So, yeah, before each of these properties are offered, for demolition, for bid, photos are taken, and we can share that with the public. Understand that many of these structures that we're discussing here today have either been reported on our 311 app that we're responding to our constituents in a timely fashion. Understanding that a lot of these structures, especially these residential structures within our neighborhoods, have been plaguing homeowners for quite some time. They've either experienced a structure fire at some point in the past and they've partially collapsed, or nearly completely collapsing onto an adjacent homeowner's property. So this is a very real, and I do agree with you, Councilman Washington, being able to visualize that for the public so they can understand that it's very easy to arbitrarily, share out these addresses and numbers and really not understand the visual impact that residents experience every single day. I get calls at least every other week about a structure that's collapsed adjacent to someone's property, and they're at risk of losing their homeowner's insurance. So this is very important business, and I do appreciate that visualization that we can do in our future subsequent meetings.
Mr. President, also I asked that because I think people don't understand, because there's a fluctuation in pricing when it comes to demolition of certain structures, especially if you got a structure that's right next to a home that is functioning. They have to pay careful attention to make sure that nothing happens to that home. So that's why pictures and things like that, I think, would do justice, as Mr. Harris stated, to give a visualization. Thank you.
Okay. Well, no, I don't remember if we made a motion or,
I move
No,
for the,
he moved in a second, so I just had a comment about asking him
Yeah,
to bring the
okay,
picture so
that's
we can
right.
vote on the motion now.
all right, and then we got a second. Then you did a second. Okay, very good. Roll call.
The motion and the second wasn't made yet.
Mrs. Stallings make the motion for approval, Resolution 7495, and I second the motion. Mr. President asked if there were any questions. I asked a question. They responded, so we can go
Thank you.
with the
Sorry
vote.
about that.
Yeah.
Commissioner Clemens. Commissioner Stalling. Commissioner Washington.
Yes.
And then President Rogi.
Yes.
The motion passes.
All right. Request for approval of resolution number 7496, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission awarding and authorizing demolition contract with C. Lee for demolition of property located at 529 Washington Street, 1700 Broadway, 556 Tompkins Street, and 2418 West 19th Street. And Mr. Harris.
Thank you, President Rogi. The City of Gary Department of Redevelopment staff followed demolition procurement procedures, sending quotes to multiple contractors for the demolition of the property located at 529 Washington Street, 1700 Broadway, 556 Tompkins Street, 2418 West 19th Avenue, whereas C. Lee was the lowest bidder with quotes of $114,090 for 529 Washington Street, $94,670 for 1700 Broadway, $9,800 for 556 Tompkins Street, and $8,890 for 2418 West 19th Avenue. The Department of Redevelopment now wishes to enter into a contract with C. Lee to demolish the above referenced properties. The Department of the Redevelopment Commissioners of the City of Gary hereby authorize myself, the Executive Director, and Commission Attorney to finalize and execute the demolition contract with C. Lee for demolition work to be performed at these properties for an amount not to exceed $227,450.
Mr. Harris, do you want to explain where this money comes from?
Sure.
please?
Sure. So there are several large commercial structures that we are discussing that we're voting upon. The commercial structures, 529 Washington Street, 1700 Broadway, would be funded from Senate Bill 434 in our demolition efforts of cleaning up and demolishing and blight remediation within the Broadway and Fifth Avenue corridor. The balance of our residential sites would be funded from our non-reverting fund.
Okay. Okay. How about now, as far as that? Motion.
Move for the passage of approval of resolution number 7496.
Moved and second, and roll call.
Thank you. Commissioner Clemens?
Yes.
Commissioner Stalling?
Yes.
Commissioner Washington? Yes. And President Rogie.
Yes.
The motion passes.
All right. Request for approval of resolution number 7497. A resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission awarding and authorizing a demolition contract with JM for demolition of property located at 469 Broadway and 3838 Broadway. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, President Rogie. The City of Gary Department of Redevelopment staff followed demolition procurement procedures, sending quotes to multiple contractors for the demolition of the property located at 469 Broadway and 3838 Broadway. JM was the lowest bidder with quotes of $627,600 for 469 Broadway and $175,000 for 3838 Broadway. The commission now wishes to enter into the Department of Redevelopment wishes to enter into a contract with JM to demolish the two above referenced properties. The Board of Redevelopment Commissioners of the City of Gary to hereby authorize myself, the Executive Director, and the Commission Attorney to finalize and execute the demolition contract for JM for the demolition work to be performed at 469 Broadway and 3838 Broadway for an amount not to exceed $802,600. And also to provide additional context, President Rogie, 469 Broadway would be funded from Senate Bill 434. When it comes to 3838 Broadway, I think the public understands the immediate urgency of the Harvey department store adjacent to Roy Boys and the need for that structure to come down before any constituents or any patrons at Roy Boys is hurt. So this is an immediate emergency situation to demolish 3838 Broadway, and understanding that 469 Broadway would be funded through Senate Bill 434.
Thank you for that information. And board members?
I move for the approval of resolution 7497.
Moved and second. Comment?
Yeah, I got a question.
A question, Ken?
Is there any plans for the usage of 469 Broadway, that property, once that building is demolished? Since it's downtown.
Yep, sure. So at the immediate time, no. The intent is to remove the immediate hazard. We have parking adjacent to this site along the alleyway on the former East 4th Place that we desire to be able to at least immediately remove that hazard and allow our constituents an opportunity to be able to utilize that lawn for future activities as we can market the space for downtown redevelopment moving forward. But for the immediate term, are there specific plans for that site at the moment? No. There's plans for other sites, but for this site, not quite. It's more so the immediate removal of the structure for safety concerns.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Clemens?
Yes.
Commissioner Stalling?
Yes.
Commissioner Washington,
Yes.
and President Rogie.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Oh, very good. Okay. Request for approval of resolution number 7498, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission authorizing the contract amendment for Barrick Architects, Inc. with regards to renovations at the Railcat Stadium. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, President Rogie. The City of Gary Department of Redevelopment previously executed a resolution authorizing a contract between the Gary Redevelopment Commission and Vavrick Architects for architectural services to be rendered in regard to the renovations of the Railcat stadiums. The opportunity for this contract is to review the space of the Diamond Center and the restaurant space, creating a floor plan for both sites in effort to allow us to market those sites for leasing opportunities in the future. Without the opportunity to be able to have that floor plan and that layout, we do not have the ability to be able to offer that space up for lease or redevelopment efforts moving forward. So the goal of this resolution is an additional $8,000 to Vavrick Architects scope for the renovation of the U.S. Steel Yard to help us be able to prepare that site for a restaurant redevelopment opportunity, as well as reconfiguring and reconsidering what we could do for the Diamond Center moving forward. So therefore, myself recommend the approval of this resolution. The Department of Redevelopment and Commissioners in the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission hereby authorize myself and our commission attorney to execute and enter into final negotiations with a contract amendment with Vavrick Architects to pay the increased costs related to the services rendered.
So this was not on the original contract that we did for the Railcat Stadium?
That's correct.
Correct.
That's correct.
Okay. So, board members?
I move for the approval of resolution number 7498.
I will second to bring it to the floor. So, roll call.
Commissioner Chambers? My apologies. Commissioner Clemens?
Abstention.
Commissioner Stalling?
Yes.
Commissioner Washington? And President Rogie.
Yes.
Okay, with 2 votes in the affirmative and 2 abstentions, there's not enough votes for the motion to pass. Staff may choose to bring this item back before our board at their next meeting, but for now, the motion does not pass.
Thank you. Request for approval of resolution number 7499, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services contract with MKSK Studios for planning and design services for the downtown plaza and downtown revitalization. Mr. Harris, please.
President Rogie, I ask that the commission table resolution 7499.
Okay, what do we have for about board feeling?
I move for the approval that we table resolution 7499.
Moving second, and roll call.
Commissioner Clemens?
Yes.
Commissioner Stalling?
Yes.
Commissioner Washington? President Rogie.
Yes.
The motion to table is passed.
All right. Directors' comments?
Sure. Thank you, President Rogie. So first off, very happy to have the opportunity to be here in this space and allow the public to be able to see us live, conduct business. I know that the acoustics in 504 Broadway is not the most favorable, and we want to be able to be sure that we're able to provide the public an opportunity to be able to hear the exciting efforts that we have moving forward in the city of Gary. Again, to share with the public that there is, interest in the city of Gary in the past that without having a vision, it's very important that, with having a vision, it's very important that businesses be able to understand where the city is headed and effort for them to be encouraged to invest. And with Mayor Melton's vision of not only downtown Gary, but also the Miller US 20 corridor, we have that interest. And when it comes to doing business, we definitely want to be able to move forward expeditiously. I understand in the past we have a lot of PTSD when it comes to bad experiences the city has experienced when it comes to projects, but understand that we've turned the tide when it comes to the appetite that the city, the appetite that the development community has for the city of Gary, and it's an exciting time, for us. So I just wanted to reiterate that we're very excited to be here and be able to be live, to have the public be able to pull up our meetings, be able to view the order of business that we have. And I definitely appreciate my commission's comments when it comes to transparency and allowing the public to be able to be excited for the opportunity for new development, and also understanding the magnitude of demolitions that we have still in this city. There are opportunities that we have applied to for regional funding, state funding to help our efforts. Understand that we're very grateful for Congressman Frank Mervan, who is advancing our request to demolish Ivanhoe Elementary School. That's $850,000 that Congressman Mervan has listened to our request in effort to help stabilize the west side of our community, the 3rd District. Understand that just recently we demolished several extremely concerning blighted structures within the 3rd District in Tolliston, adjacent to the firehouse, a 4-story flat that partially collapsed early this year that we were able to remove and address, as well as in the 4th District, the 1900 block of Massachusetts Street, again, another constituent that had responded to our 311 app and expressed that they were very concerned about the structure falling on into their home. And we were able to address that with this body and this commission. Understanding the magnitude of when our redevelopment commission was established in 1957, understand that the Central District and Midtown neighborhood of our city was really slated for what they called at the time slum clearance, but understand that there was a long road of how we got to where we are when it comes to the socioeconomic divide in this city. From the very beginning, we built a lot of substandard structures in the Midtown core because those who could afford to live in the city with the small wages that they got, they could only build so much, right? And there weren't adequately constructed structures. And for that reason, we have many vacant lots today because those structures couldn't withstand the test of time. There are still some structures that you might see today that, could any moment, be a risk to the public that we're working to address. But just understand that when it comes to the mood and the sentiment of development moving forward in the community, there's a lot of positive efforts on a state, regional, and county level to help us move forward. And as we rebuild trust within the community and being more visible with being able to be on this live stream, we hope that we can get the community more excited and have more people here in the pews asking more questions, being more engaged in the process. So I wanted to share that, and again, thank Congressman Mervan for answering our department's request for the demolition of Ivanhoe School for future redevelopment opportunities. That's a 30-acre site that we can offer for a sustainable and responsible development moving forward if we can get that $850,000 moving forward that Congressman Mervan is actively working toward. Outside of that, those are all the general comments that I had, but I just wanted to express to the public that we're very excited to be able to be live streamed and that the public can actually hear us. So, thank you.
Thank you. And commissioners' comments? Nothing? And then we'll go on to, well, we won't go on to Mr. Johnson, school board representative, because he's not here. And agenda items for next board meeting?
No additional comments.
Okay. And now, for number 24, which would be adjournment, by the way. Motion to adjourn. Second. And roll call.
Commissioner Clemens. Yes. Commissioner Stalling,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington. Yes. And President Rogie.
Yes.
You're adjourned.